Hi, my name is Zoe and welcome. So just starting off in a seated position, so you can come into a Caesar where you're sitting onto the heels, or coming into your Sukhasana. So this is where you probably have something to sit on just to raise the hips up. And you take one heel in towards the groin, followed by the other foot to the outside of that shin. And then closing the eyes. You might do some slight movements and coming to stillness. And just noticing how you're feeling in your body. Noticing if there is anything that your body is needing, wanting, asking for from this practice. And then bringing the awareness to the breath. Noticing the inhales, the exhales, the length of the breath, the pace, the depth. And starting to take some more control of the breath. So you're making the inhales long, full, nourishing. And the exhale soft, gentle, releasing, letting go. Feeling into how the breath moves the body as you sit here. The rising, the falling, the expanding and contracting. Perhaps you lean slightly backwards or forwards or side to side. And then keeping that long deep breath and taking all of the awareness down to those sit bones. Connected, grounded, centered. Allowing that awareness to come up to the sacrum. You can tilt the pelvis slightly forwards and backwards, just until you find that spot where the spine feels nice and free. Allowing the awareness to travel up the spine, lower back, mid back, upper back. Lifting those shoulders up, back and down, opening through the heart, anahata. You tuck the chin slightly to lengthen through the back of the neck. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling, just sighing it out, letting go of any tension, inhaling, sighing it out, releasing. You can open the mouth and move the jaw from side to side. Releasing any hidden tension here. And then bringing the awareness around to the back of the head, up into the crown. So you're lengthening through the crown towards the sky, yet grounded, connected through those sit bones. Lengthening through the spine, using that conscious breath. And bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra, prayer position at the heart. And setting a sankalpa, a positive intention for this practice. This may be something that you've been working on for a while, weaving into your practices, or something that you feel inspired to bring into your practice today. And we'll seal this with 3 rolling Oms, Feel free to listen or join in, taking a deep breath in. Rubbing the palms of the hands together, causing that heat and that friction. Then placing the palms of the hands over the closed eyelids, allowing that heat to travel through the eyelids to the eye sockets, relaxing the frontal cortex of the brain, the mind. And looking into that everythingness and nothingness all at once, and seeing how far you can see into that darkness, to the different shades of light. And slowly releasing the hands down the sides of the face. This practice is going to be about releasing and letting go, surrendering into the poses. To really allow the nervous system to relax. To let go of any tension that's being held and stored in your body. So first of all, we're going to start off with Nadi Shodha, the alternative nostril breath. So leaving that left hand on the knee and taking the right hand, and the first two fingers of the right hand, placing them above the eyebrow centre. And you're going to be able to block off the nostrils with the thumb, the right nostril, and the ring finger on the left nostril. So taking a deep breath in, exhaling all of the air out of the mouth, blocking off that right nostril with the thumb and inhaling through the left for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blocking off that left nostril with the ring finger, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing that right nostril and exhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling through the right nostril for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blocking off that right nostril and holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing the left nostril and exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling through the left nostril, that is 1 round. We're locking off that left nostril and holding. Releasing the right nostril and exhaling. Inhaling through the right nostril. Blocking off the right nostril and holding. Releasing the left nostril and exhaling. Releasing the hand. And just seeing how quiet you can make the breath, so you still want the inhales to be long and deep. And releasing, but you want it to be very gentle, noticing whether the right nostril is more freer or the left. Nadi Shodha is about balancing the 2 hemispheres of the brain. The right side is the more yang, the active, and the inside is the more quiet, the more relaxed side. And then taking a deep breath in. And as you exhale, folding forwards, just coming to wherever feels comfortable in your body. And really invite you to listen to your body out through this practice. And releasing through the shoulders, the neck, and the back of the body. And pushing into the hands, walking them back. Coming back up to seated. Inhale the arms up into the air. And exhaling, releasing that right hand down to the earth. Reaching that left arm over. Inhaling back up to centre. Exhaling, coming to the other side. Inhale up to centre. Exhaling, surrendering down to the other side and continuing to do this in your own time. You may gradually release down a little bit further on each side. Finding your flow. Listening and feeling into your body. And then this time, whichever side you've come to, pushing into that standing hand, opening through those ribs a little bit more on the outside, reaching that top arm over. You could bend through the elbow a little bit if that feels right for you. And inhaling back up to centre. Exhaling down to the other side, pushing into that standing arm, opening through those ribs, reaching the arm over. Good bend through that elbow. And then inhaling up to centre. Exhaling the hands down to prayer. Inhaling, reaching the hands out, opening like a book. Exhaling, you're going to sweep the hands through. So the backs of the hands are coming together and you're cowling through the back, getting that shoulder stretch. Inhaling, sweeping those hands back through. Bringing the heels of the hands together, coming up into that lotus. Exhaling the hands down to prayer. Inhale, reaching out, opening. Exhaling, sweeping them through, cowling through that back. Inhale, sweeping them back through, bringing the heels together, coming up into that lotus. Exhaling the hands back down to prayer. And one last time, inhaling, reaching out, opening. Exhaling, sweeping through, cowling through the back. Inhale, sweeping the hands back through, bringing the heels of the hands together, coming up into that lotus, and slowly releasing the hands down, rolling over onto your hands and knees, moving any props out of the way. And just closing the eyes. And just start to release any tension in your body, moving how your body feels to. Then you move through the hips, the shoulders, the spine. You could walk out the legs. Connecting the breath and the movement. Noticing how your body wants to move. To release, to let go. Then coming to sit back onto the heels. And taking the knees out about as wide as the mat. Could be a little bit wider, a little bit more, and depending on the shape of your hips. So remember to really listen to your body out through this practice. Placing the hands onto the knees, inhaling, open through the chest, arching through the back a little bit, and exhaling, walking those hands up, coming into your Theta Balasana, extended child's pose. You want to keep those heels connected, or those sit bones connected to the heels as much as you can. You could massage the third eye into the earth. And breathing, using that breath, so you're really breathing into the belly, the back of the body, feeling into the sensations. Allowing yourself to let go, to melt into the mat a little bit more. And then slowly pushing into the hands, walking them back, allowing the body to come back up. And staying seated onto those heels and taking the hands. You want to bring the sides of the hands together, placing the hands down. It might just be the little fingers that are touching. Placing the hands down with the fingers facing towards you. Then you slowly come to sit back onto the heels. You may not be able to come to sit back onto the heels, so you're just coming to wherever feels right for you. And it is quite an intense stretch. Feeling it through the front of the wrists there. Then you can look up towards the sky. If you choose to, you could do lion. That's where you go ah, and stick your tongue out, looking from side to side. Breathing, using that breath, feeling into the sensations. This is also a great pose to release through the sinuses. And then slowly you're going to release, allowing yourself to come back up to center. Releasing the hands. You might rub them on the tops of the legs for a moment. Noticing how it feels in your wrists. And then taking the hands, creating fists, having those thumbs on the outside edges of the fists. And you want to interlace the knuckles. And then placing, and you want to keep those fists tight, so you're keeping those fingers in there. Then placing the backs of the hands onto the earth and starting to straighten up the forearms. Breathing, using that breath, just noticing how it feels in your body. For some people you will be there and that will be enough of a stretch for you. For others you'll be able to straighten up further. Breathing, releasing the tension, feeling into those sensations. And then slowly releasing. And coming back to hands and knees. And back to that tabletop. You want to have the hips directly over the knees. And walk the hands out in front. Coming into melting heart pose. So you're allowing that chest to melt down towards the ground. The forehead could be off the mat, could be on the earth. And really listening and feeling into your body. Out through this practice I'll pop out of poses and continue to give the instructions. So you're breathing into the belly, feeling into the spine. If you want it to be a bit more of an intense stretch, you could bring those hands together into prayer and then allowing them to come up over the head. So you're bending through the elbows. releasing the hands down. And we're going to make our way down onto the mat, so you might push back out and then come down. So you're onto your belly. You want the elbows to be directly underneath the shoulders. And just notice if you're having any pain in your lower back, you could always tense up through the buttocks, through the thighs, but otherwise keeping it nice and relaxed. And just having a play here, taking those elbows back until you have to use that spine strength. And taking them forwards till you're resting on those elbows. Taking a deep breath in. And as you exhale, releasing the head down towards the earth, allowing that head to hang. Inhaling the head up over the right shoulder. Exhaling down over the left. It's as if you're drawing circles with the nose. Inhaling and exhaling as you release down. Continuing to do this in your own time, synchronizing that movement and breath. Feeling into those sensations. Noticing if you like to do small circles or bigger circles. Having that awareness of how it feels for your neck. Making this the last round on this side. When you come to center, inhaling, going in the opposite direction. Noticing the uniqueness of this direction. Feeling into the neck here. Making this the last round in this direction. Finishing with the head in the center. Allowing that head to hang. Feeling into the back of the neck and between the shoulder blades. And then slowly allowing the head to come back up. Taking those hands back and slightly out to the sides. Releasing down towards the earth, inhaling, pushing into the hands. Allowing that back touch and then exhaling, releasing, letting go. Surrendering down. Inhaling, opening, arching. Just coming as far as what feels right for you. You could tense up through the buttocks to protect the lower back. And exhaling, releasing, and continuing to do this in your own time. Synchronizing that movement and breath. Seeing how long you can make those inhales and exhales. Noticing how it feels in the spine. Making this your last round, exhaling, releasing, surrendering to the earth. And then coming back onto those elbows, bringing the heels of the hands together, creating like a cup, placing the chin into the hands. You move the elbows forward if you feel to. Just finding that comfortable position where you can really release the head, letting go, releasing any tension that's being held in the body. And using that breath. You're going to slowly release here. Releasing the hands. Allowing them to come down to create a cushion, placing the back of the head, placing the head on the back of the hands. And placing the hands underneath the shoulders, pushing back into the hands and knees. Coming back into that tabletop. You want the hands to be, or the wrists to be directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling all of the air out of the mouth. Inhaling through the nose, looking up towards the sky, opening through the chest, pulling those hands and knees towards each other, dropping through the lower back. Exhaling, you're pushing into the tops of the feet, the hands tucking the tummy, the chin to the chest, cowling through the back. Inhale, sweeping through. You'll be looking up towards the third eye, the sky, close the eyes. And exhaling, pushing into the tops of the feet, the hands cowling through the back. And continuing to do this in your own time, synchronizing that movement and breath. Seeing how long you can make those inhales and exhales. Noticing how the movements feel in your body. How it feels in your spine. Making this the last round. Finishing with the exhaling, pushing into the tops of the feet, the hands tucking the tummy, the chin to the chest. And slowly coming back to center. And we're going to come into a pigeon pose. So you might choose to tuck the toes under. Walk through the legs for a moment. And then lifting that right leg up into the air, bending through that knee. Taking that deep breath in, and as you exhale, bringing that right knee towards that right wrist, right foot towards the left. And just noticing that wherever it lands is generally the best place for it, but if you are feeling any discomfort through the knee, you can always walk that foot back underneath the thigh. Otherwise, you can tuck those back toes under, picking that knee up, allowing it to come back a little bit further. Then allowing those back toes, the top of the foot to go flat. Inhaling, arching through the back onto those fingertips. And exhaling, slowly releasing down. And breathing, using that breath, feeling into your body. You're breathing into the belly, creating that space for the thigh. tension in your body. Releasing through the shoulders, neck. Releasing through that right hip. And the back of the body. And slowly pushing into the hands, walking them back. Coming back onto those fingertips, arching, taking that deep breath in. And as you exhale, tucking the toes under and stepping back. You could either come into that downward facing dog or into your hands and knees. Releasing through those hips, releasing through those legs. Especially through that right hip and that right knee. And then coming into that downward facing dog. Walking out the legs, inhaling that left leg up into the air. Bending through it. And as you exhale, bring that left knee towards the wrist. Left foot towards the right. Just noticing where it naturally lands. For me, I'm very tight in that left hip. So my foot actually stays underneath the thigh, and that feels right for that knee and protects it. And you can tuck those back toes under, picking up that back knee and allowing it to come a little bit further back, and allowing the top of the foot to come flat. Inhaling up onto those fingertips and exhaling, slowly coming down with a flat spine, with a straight spine for as long as you can. And breathing and feeling into the side of the body. Seeing if you can release through the shoulders, through the neck. Breathing into the belly, the back of the body. And noticing the uniqueness of the side, this hip. So if you really allow yourself to let go, to surrender in this pose, to release any tension that's being held. And then slowly pushing into the hands and walking them back. Coming up onto those fingertips, taking that deep breath in. And exhaling, tucking those toes under. And stepping back. You could either walk through the legs or you could do hip rotations. So really releasing through that left leg. That left hip. And then coming to lie down on the mat. To lie down onto your back. And stretching out. You stretch through the hands, the toes, stretching through the body, and then you could tense everything up. And then releasing. Bending through the knees, having them about hip width apart, taking the arms up to the sides, taking that deep breath in, and as you exhale, allowing the knees to come down to the right, looking over that left shoulder. You could do any little adjustments to really make it your pose, perhaps taking the legs a bit further apart or closer together. seeing if you can let go a little bit more, using that breath. Letting go of the tension. And slowly coming back up to centre, taking that deep inhale. And exhaling, coming to the other side. Looking over that opposite shoulder. Doing any little adjustments to really make it your pose. Releasing on the side, feeling into the uniqueness of the side. And slowly, intentionally coming up to center and coming into Shavasana. So this is a corpse pose, the final pose of this practice. You could use any props that you feel to, whether it's putting something underneath the knees. If you have an eye pillow, you could put an eye pillow on. And bringing those shoulder blades towards each other. So you're opening through the heart. Closing the eyes. And just feeling into your body for a moment, noticing the sensations, the vibrations. And bringing that awareness to the breath. Noticing the rising, the falling, expanding and contracting. And then we'll start to gently scan through the body. So bringing all of the awareness to the soles of the feet. Allowing that awareness to travel up to the ankles. Feeling into the calf muscles. The backs of the knees, the backs of the thighs. Feeling into the buttocks. Sacrum. The lower back, mid back, feeling into the shoulder blades, the upper back, allowing that awareness to travel down the backs of the arms to the backs of the hands. Bringing the awareness to the back of the neck. Feeling into the base of the skull, up the back of the head. Feeling into the crown of the head. Out along the forehead. Feeling into the third eye. Eyes, nose, lips, cheeks, chin, jaw, feeling into the throat, allowing that awareness to travel down the front of the arms, feeling into the hands and fingers, bringing the awareness to the sternum, the chest, feeling into the heart, Anahata. Feeling into the solar plexus down along the ribs, the abdominal muscles, the lower belly, hips, pelvis, groin. Bringing the awareness to the tops of the thighs, knees, shins, tops of the feet. Feeling into the whole of your body as you integrate your practice. Feel free to stay lying here for as long as you like. Otherwise, you could start to take some deeper breaths. Bringing the awareness back to your body, back to the space. You start to wriggle fingers, toes, turn the head from side to side. And then rolling over onto whichever side feels comfortable. And slowly making your way up to a seated. And bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra, prayer position at the heart. And allowing that sankalpa, that positive intention to come to mind, to heart space. And just noticing if you want to take it off with you into your life, or to leave it here with your practice. And we'll finish this practice with 3 rolling Oms. Feel free to listen or join in, taking a deep breath in. Loka Samasta Zukhino Bhavantu. Namaste. Thank you very much for sharing this practice with me.